So I'm Matt Austin. We're at Apple Falls Cider Company in Prince Edward County.
And we're busy sampling a couple of your ciders.
Yeah, we have some new ones and some sort of rehashes of the old. So we're re-releasing Heritage, which was a maple syrup, infused cider. And we have two new ones to try. One is a Perry, so 100% pear. And another one is a 2016 sort of very dry aromatic cider, traditionally fermented. So this is bottle conditioned. It's carbonated in the bottle. And you get that really nice pop sort of thing when it first opens. But the next one we have, this is the Perry. So again, it's not, I wish I could pop fresh ones for you guys because it is, it's much nicer when it's freshly opened.
That's really nice.
But this one is it's super light. From the top it is a lot clearer. None of our stuff is filtered, so it's all just sort of sediment drops to the bottom. But that has a really nice silver color to it. But yeah.
Different?
That's the best pear I've ever had.
Really?
Legit, yeah.
Thank you for saying that. Yeah, no, I'm really happy with it. Perry can be very difficult to make. It does have
yeah, it's really good.
It doesn't have the same pH as the apples do, so it's a little bit more susceptible to certain off flavors or diseases and stuff like that. So we got pretty lucky.
What type of pear did you use in this one?
This is
a mix?
It's a mix. There's Flemish Beauties, Bartlett's, and Bosque, I think.
Okay.
If I had to guess. It's been a while now, but yeah.
Yeah, very pear forward.
It's very tough to get a proper Perry done. It's hard to find ones.
And you do not see that around. I've noticed that you don't see a lot of them.
We've maybe had 10 in our times in total, so
right.
Very nice.
Yeah, well, thank you.
And that was new this year, but it was a 2016?
It is 2016 pear, so yeah, same sort of batch as our, same time frame as our 2016 apple. We're just releasing it now. But yeah, it's been aged.
The Perry, people say reminds them kind of like a Riesling-ish, just because it's a little sweeter, but it still has kind of like the wine notes because it was a wine yeast, I guess, that they used to ferment.
Well, it's a French yeast, so it does have some.
Last time we talked was about a year ago.
Yeah.
You were busy in the process of putting in your next little extension to everything,
for sure.
And what's happened since then?
Well, we do have our extension on the cider house now, so I'll give you guys a little tour of that. You can see the new place.
Try the new cider in the tank that we have.
Yeah, we can. We're redoing, just like we redid Heritage. We're redoing Premier in the same vein, so we're sort of getting low on Premier. So I do have one in the tank for you guys to try. And it's just been going well. We extended our patio out, so now it used to sort of be just like a little section here that people could sit around, and now the whole place is licensed for everyone, which is great. Long weekend, we have the place packed. This weekend seems to be a little bit slower, but it's going really well.
Yeah, they're calling for bad weather, and we got kind of lucky because we expected to be going through
I think I
rain
totally
and
agree. The weatherman just scared everyone away. But
We've been going to the Trenton Farmers Market too.
yes, it has been a good.
Taking advantage of the farmers market license that cideries and wineries have, I guess now. So
Yeah.
it's fun.
And that's been really beneficial for you for getting your product out into the public?
It was in Trenton, so they had the Hops in the Water event in Trenton.
Okay.
So it was nice because now when I go there, they're like, oh, it's here for Hops in the Water. And then they're like, oh, it's so nice, I can actually buy the cider here now. And then because they had tried it at Hops in the Water. So that's good.
We've also been doing some more just local licensees, restaurants and stuff, which is nice to see. People come in because they've tried, the Heritage or the Premier somewhere else, and they want to come in to actually pick it up. So that kind of stuff is always good to see.
There are options so you've got a couple local places. Can you order online as well?
Yeah, you can order online right off the website, alphafallcider.ca. but we do have, so we're at Myers Pier in Belleville, we're at Tomasso's in Trenton, Signal Brewery now,
Yeah,
we have some
Signal has it, but
on tap.
who knows for how long because
That's
they go
right.
through cider so quickly and we can't supply them.
Yeah.
We're gonna give them all the kegs we have, but that'll last like maybe a week.
I know. That's the tricky part. It's like balancing, right? You're giving cider for licensees to bring people out to your spot, but if we have no cider here at the end of it, then what do we do then? That's the tricky.
And I think if I remember, we were talking about that being a challenge, that you were having the product was running out quickly
It
enough.
was,
Right,
And
you came right in fall, right?
I came towards the end of the fall.
We were
So.
actually bottling.
Yeah.
We were bottling because you interviewed in the cider house.
Yeah, in the colder.
Oh yeah.
So we've that was sort of the theme of last year, where people are running out of product because there's been that much. I would say more so the theme this year has been access to the raw product has been a bit of a problem. I guess you have a bit of an advantage from that, being where you're located and where you can access the apples and the rest of the products for it. What else are you seeing as challenges?
Well, on that topic, I think, last year for apples wasn't the greatest year, and the 2 years prior to that, we had the big frost, so that was a horrible year. Right? So we're on this big trend. Apples were great in 2016. Not such a good year in 2017. I think this year, knock on wood, we're going to have a bumper crop of apples, right? We've had great weather so far, the proper amount of rain, all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a great year coming up. But yeah, definitely cider prices were through the roof last year, and just sourcing apples was very difficult. So that has been a challenge. Some of the things we're sort of internally going through right now is the debate cans versus bottles, which is always an interesting one to get into. The LCBO and a lot of I think the consumers would prefer the can, but it's sort of still more economical for us to have it in the bottle. And again, with shipping it, because we do some online sales, I'd much rather ship it in a can than a bottle. So that's been a challenge for us to sort of get through. We're still sticking with bottles, but I have a feeling like we're just on the threshold there. Maybe next year we're going to move into the canning space.
Excellent. Are you expecting anything new or different coming out in the next little while? Anything you can say?
I do have some.
We have an interesting.
I have some another pear one that I'm. It's similar to the pear, although there are some apples in it as well. We didn't have quite as many pears to do last season, but I have high hopes for it. So we're gonna do something along the same lines.
We did a wild ferment with wine.
We did.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, we have a wild ferment going. It's just 200 liters of it, so it's just sort of an experimental thing. But we still have to get around to bottling that up.
I was wondering actually what your output is really, volume wise.
Yeah, volume wise annually, we're about between 7 to 10,000 liters. So probably closer to 10 now. But yeah, it's tough. I mean, last year we pulled apples out of cold storage around this time, and we did a fermentation over the summer. And this year I'm not doing that. We don't have any apples because like we were just talking about, and B, I had more tanks to do winter ferment. So I was able to actually put more volume into tanks over the winter time, which was, I like that better anyways. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Interesting. The is it viable for you as work wise or is it still sort of more of a hobby side of things with hope that it's gonna really?
Yeah. No, it's still definitely. It's a second full-time job. That's we like to describe it, because we work on it through the week every night, and we're here every weekend. But we still both have full-time jobs through the week. like our day jobs. So not quite there yet where we can sort of get rid of one of those, but maybe one day.
Yeah.
It's still fun though. So
Well, why don't we take a look at
Yeah.
what you're doing there, and we'll move forward. So thank you so much.
Orchard would be some nice pictures
yes,
down there. Yeah.
I'll take you guys around to our orchard, and it's a beautiful day. Maybe we'll grab some cider and then
Want to
we'll
go
go
with
back.
them? You'd learn.
So you can see our addition is now complete. I was just working in here, so it is a bit of a mess. But
I think the dog will enjoy the smells on the ground.
yeah, I know. We won't stay long in here anyway. So this is we're planning on doing another premiere. So I'll just give you guys a taste of that. And it is in the process of being carbonated, so it's not fully carbonated yet, but you'll get the gist of it. It's very like just a clean, dry, typical cider. You know, that's exactly what I wanted from Premier the first time. Sort of just like our very traditional standard drink.
You got some photos?
So then, yeah, we'll go this way.
Passed all the local animals. Now the dog wants to go visit. We'll go back later.
2 sheep from a local farm. So we get them every spring, and we get our pig back, which is Newton, and he sort of like goes and hangs out with them for the winter time because they have a better facility for like that's winterized than we do. But when we got the sheep, we didn't realize one of them was pregnant.
Oh.
So just one morning, like they would come back over and someone's like, "Hey, there's another sheep in the pen." Yeah, little baby one.
Someone came by and dropped one off. No,
Yeah, maybe.
not quite.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is our patio, which is now fully licensed. Great, do wagon rides.
Do you do events and so on, community based, or
It's something
your own
that
stuff?
we're trying. I would like to do more of. Sort of just finding the time to organize everything, but we're just getting our patio sort of. That's definitely where I want to go to. Yeah. So now that we have the patio license, I mean, we just put up some more stuff. I want to get some shade sales for this as well, and like, I don't know. It's great that we have a section for kids too. So I would love to do some more public events or stuff like that. Thank you guys. Don't worry about the alcohol. You can
It's all licensed. It's all licensed.
we'll
I have the ability to edit. I'm quite good at that. So yeah.
Just because this hill, I like this hill, is like a great vantage point for people to see a little bit more of the orchard. This is actually some vines that we're planting. So Amelia's brother is working on this. He's building his own trellis system, and this is all Marquette vines that we're planting. So I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years from now, we might be getting some into some more wine stuff. And then over here, this is our main pick your own orchard. So these variety of different apples are in it. Something that's always I like is Colin, which is Amelia's dad. He's the apple grower. He plants a crabapple tree sort of at the end of different rows, one to distinguish possibly a variety or something, but also crab apples are great cross pollinators for a lot of different types of apple trees. So it's kind of cool, and they during blossoms, which you guys missed by a week. It's amazing, right? And some crab apple trees have like this beautiful pink blossom mixed in with all the white from the apple trees. It looks pretty cool. But
And then I'm assuming you've got the other sort of sections are more focused on the specifics of what you're looking at for baking and food, whereas that's more the eating for the public, or is it
a
all
little
mixed
bit of
around?
both. Yeah, it is. A lot of people, you'd be surprised how many people come in for pick your own for specifically for baking. Sort of the varieties for cider that I like to use are kind of tucked into the back corner, so that would be our like golden russets and our northern spies and stuff. These we have gallows over here. We're just planting some Honeycrisp because Honeycrisps are just crazy right now, and these are also some Crimson Crisp, which we're planting because they're supposed to be a great eating apple, but they're also supposed to be a great cider apple. So that a couple of years from now we'll see how that goes. But I've heard a lot of great things. Supposed to be getting some Kingston Blacks and Dabinets this spring, but our guy never came through. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but sourcing cider specific apple varieties is like a nightmare, and people are canceling on people. And I've been on the waiting list now for 2 years from this guy, and he either canceled or went out of business or something. So that's kind of too bad. But I think it's possible that some of those cider specific varieties may be overrated. The jury's still kind of out on it, and there's a lot of research that's being done at University of Guelph and Vineland and all this stuff to really determine if these apples are good to grow in Ontario, because that's the main thing. If they can't grow in Ontario, and if you're going to jeopardize your entire orchard from fire blight or some other disease, then in my opinion it's not worth it. But yeah, we'll see about that one. So that's our wind fan, of course, back there too, which is frost protection. That I don't know if it even ran this year, which is pretty fantastic.
Interesting.
And
then overall, space-wise, you have about how many trees and acreage?
I think just under 20 acres of apples trees, and then there's probably another 10, maybe less than that, of just other fruits and vegetables. And I don't know. There's lots of stuff I would like to do more, right? That's the beauty about cider, I think. Something like a wine, I feel like the textbook has kind of already been written, whereas cider is still new, especially in Ontario. There is no standard, there is no rules associated with it. You have that flexibility to experiment and come up with something really unique and different, which is the reason why I like doing this.
Yeah, and I think we've seen that from our perspective with yours, especially with the kombucha cider, was a really neat angle to go with.
Yeah.
And it was unique, and I think one or two other places have tried it in total, but it's really neat to see and have the ability to be an artist in what you're doing as well as just a manufacturer.
And if you're not having fun when you're doing it, right, then what's the point? So, yeah, that's great.
Well, I'll say thank you for now, and we'll send this over and send it out, and people will have a chance to listen there. And again, where can people go to get more information on you?
You can follow us at all the spots, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff, at Apple Falls Cider, or just head to applefallscider.ca.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks.